Paddy, thank you for joining us. What is your mindset when you're going up to prepare against someone who you have so much respect for, so much admiration for, someone who's, you were saying at the press conference, is like a legend of the sport? What is it like knowing you're going in to face someone like Justin Gaethje?
Yeah, well, this is what you've always wanted to do. You've always wanted, coming up through your career, you want to fight these people that you've always looked up to, and it's sad to say that I think I'm going to retire them. You know what I mean? I'm preparing to beat them up in all facets of MMA, whether it's on the ground or whether it's on the feet. I'm preparing to beat them up. So, as I say, it's sad to say, but I'm more than likely going to retire him. I don't know if he'll fight again.
I think a lot of the fans understood why you weren't going to fight Paddy Pimblett in a non-championship setting, but now it is for a belt, and that is the fight that is in front of you. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, Paddy Pimblett, I mean, this guy's got a ton of momentum, you know, a ton of confidence, and those are two variables that are tough to beat. I'm going to have to really steal that momentum early and stay in my shell. You know, I know this kid's going to be trying to kill me, and I know he's going to make mistakes. So I have to be ready to take advantage of these mistakes and fight a perfect fight. At the highest level, it's who makes mistakes first, and I'm going to need to teach him that.
He hasn't lost in the UFC. He's the younger man. Those things can be factored into a betting line. Have you seen the odds for the fight?
Yeah, I love that I'm an underdog. I think I'm 8-2 or 8-3 as an underdog in the UFC. 2017, I fought the top 5 in the world every year, consistently, and I'm still here. If I wasn't as good as I am, then I wouldn't be here, and I still am here because I am one of the best in the world. It's just such a crazy sport. It's such a...
Paddy the Baddy plans to beat up Justin Gaethje. I'm sure that doesn't come as a surprise to you. Paddy the Baddy believes he can beat Justin Gaethje up on the feet. That might come as a surprise to you. Paddy the Baddy says that he's a weird fighter. He knows he's a weird fighter, and you can't bring anybody into training camp to mimic him, that he wrestles weird and he grapples weird.
Paddy Pimblett is preparing for a war, not just training for Justin Gaethje. A locked-in Paddy who appears prepared to put himself to the ultimate test can be seen in new footage from camp, which also shows punishing sessions and ongoing pressure. Now the crucial question is whether Gaethje's violence will cause immediate chaos, or if his speed and grappling will suffocate one of the sport's most dangerous strikers. And Paddy's true place could be redefined by this battle.
Is that going to help him in this fight?
Brother, Paddy Pimblett cannot help him.
Why not? You're not impressed with Paddy?
Paddy Pimblett doesn't have nothing. What do you have? Who's paid it?
Paddy Pimblett is craving chaos rather than a safe victory. He refers to a real conflict such as Adesanya versus Gastelum, in which both fighters are bruised and bleeding, the kind of battle that fans will never forget. But in spite of everything, Paddy doesn't think Justin Gaethje will endure long enough for that kind of brutal struggle to be fully realized.
A lot of times, his opponents are expecting a war. They're expecting a brawl because of who's standing across from them. Is that something you're trying to avoid? Is that something you're embracing?
I'm embracing. I want a war. I've never had a war. I've never had a proper war where we're both cut and bloodied up. I'd love a fight like Adesanya Gastelum. I'd love a fight like that. But I don't think Justin Gaethje is the man to give me it. I just don't think. I love biting down on my gum shield and swinging punches. You never know, I might end up doing that to him. But I just can't see him getting past the third round. The only way he beats me is a big overhand right or a big left hook. I genuinely can't. I don't see anywhere he's better than me, even on the feet. I know he's an amazing striker, but so am I. So I just don't see anywhere he beats me.
That desire for destruction only strengthens Paddy Pimblett's belief about the outcome. He claims he can already see it happening, catching Justin Gaethje on his feet and eliminating him before the fight has a chance to settle. According to Paddy, Gaethje won't be able to make it past the third round, and this will be an early stand-up knockout rather than a prolonged fight.
Tell me officially, what's the prediction? How do you get your hand raised? How do you earn that title?
It's the same as Chandler. He doesn't get past the third. I don't see him getting out the third round, but I can see myself finishing before that. I keep having visions and knocking him out on the feet. To be honest, I keep having mad, crazy visions and knocking him out on the feet, but wherever the fight goes, TKO or submission by round 3.
On the other hand, Justin Gaethje has brutal plans and is already thinking beyond the next fight. He talks about going on a rampage once he has gold around his waist, beginning with dealing with Paddy and Ilya before returning to unresolved matters. Losses to Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira still hurt, and Justin makes it plain that getting even isn't an option if he's a champion. He wants one of those names back in front of him, one way or another.
Yeah, because once I get this belt, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to beat Ilya. I'm going to beat Paddy. I'm going to beat Ilya. And then I got to get Max back. Have to. So I need him to win. I need him to beat Charles. Yeah, right. Actually, I guess it doesn't matter. They both beat me, so I want either one of those back. Yeah. Those are the only two guys that I have the opportunity to get back right now. Yeah. So that's what I'm shooting for.
It's not just the fighters themselves predicting their fight, but the experts have opinions too. Din Thomas doesn't see this fight as particularly close. While he acknowledges Paddy Pimblett's creativity, comfort fighting off his back, and smart use of range, he believes those tools won't be enough to handle the level of violence Justin Gaethje brings. In his view, Gaethje operates on a different intensity, and even if this is Paddy's best window toward a title, the gap should still be clear once they're locked in.
When you break this fight down, how close do you think it actually is?
I personally don't think it's going to be that close at all. I mean, Paddy Pimblett's crafty. He's a crafty fighter. He's got a very strong skill set. He's not afraid to fight off of his back. He doesn't wrestle all that well, but he uses his length well in terms of his kicks. But I just think the amount of violence that Justin Gaethje brings to the fight is going to be too much for Paddy. I mean, we saw what Paddy did against Jared Gordon, and a lot of people think he lost that fight. And Justin Gaethje is not Jared Gordon. You know what I'm saying? Now, Paddy looked great against Bobby Green. That was a really quick fight. He looked great against Michael Chandler, but Michael Chandler was on a decline. I just think that Paddy, this is his best chance. We talked about Gaethje. This is also Paddy's best chance of winning a title, because I don't think he would have fared well against Ilya or Sarukian either. But this is his best chance of winning a title, and I don't even really see it being all that.
Whereas, Chael Sonnen frames the matchup as a crossroads of styles, but not a simple one. He points out that backing Paddy means betting everything on getting the fight to the ground and then successfully controlling, advancing, and finishing against a dangerous opponent once it's there. At the same time, he notes that Justin's relentless pressure and striking power make every second on the feet a serious threat. In his view, the outcome isn't as black and white as takedown equals Paddy and striking equals Justin. There's far more chaos in between.
It means you think Paddy is going to take him down. Which, by the way, you're then counting on a lot of luck once he gets there. You know, or a lot of good success once he gets there, keeping him there, submitting him, passing to positions, pounding him out, whatever it is you think's going to happen. But it has to start with the takedown, if you subscribe to that. And meanwhile, the argument would be if it stays on his feet that it would go to Gaethje. Is it that straightforward? I don't think so.
Sonnen stresses that the old school idea of one fighter being a pure striker and the other a pure grappler is outdated. Paddy Pimblett has quietly put together an impressive run in the UFC, constantly evolving his approach. He's moved from chasing submissions to leaning more on ground and pound, keeping opponents guessing. The real point is that Paddy only reveals his game plan once someone challenges him, and that unpredictability is what makes him a real threat.
And based on what we've seen, I could see where you could come to that conclusion. I'm just sharing, if you follow the sport as a whole, we don't really see that anymore. We don't really see a lot of this, this guy's the better striker and this guy's the better grappler. That's very 1993 thinking. And we've dismissed Paddy for so long. I mean, I feel like we've dismissed him for 8 fights. Is he now 8-0 in the UFC? That's off the top of my head, but I think I'm right. Is he now 4 years in the UFC? That's off the top of my head, but I think I'm right. And yeah, he does favor grappling, but he used to favor grappling to submissions. Now he's favoring grappling to ground and pound. So the only thing that you really learn through that statement is that you don't really know what he's going to do. And he doesn't really do something until somebody shows a defense to what he prefers to do. Right?
But Alexander Volkanovski is clearly backing Paddy Pimblett to pull off the upset against Justin Gaethje. He's impressed by how Paddy has handled tough challenges before, proving he can rise to the occasion. His latest performance showed he's capable of sticking to a strategy and executing it under pressure, a trait Volkanovski clearly respects.
That's going to be a fun fight. I'm going to go with Paddy, you know what I mean? There's been a couple of times where I thought Paddy's had big tests in front of him and he's passed them. And, he showed me in his last fight he can really stick to a game plan. And he's going to need that with a Gaethje. So I'm going to go Paddy.
While Alexander Volkanovski sees promise in Paddy Pimblett's ability to stick to a game plan, Usman Nurmagomedov isn't as impressed. He questions the level of competition Paddy has faced, pointing to wins over Michael Chandler and Dan Hooker as victories over fighters past their peak. For Usman, real elite tests come from the likes of Charles Oliveira or Arman Tsarukyan, and until Paddy proves himself against that caliber, he remains unconvinced.
With who he fight for the title? Like before, like he beat who? He beat give me any names. Michael Chandler?
Michael Chandler, that's the biggest name, sure.
Everybody beat Michael Chandler, brother. He doesn't win, brother. He was in UFC and he win only one fight against Tony Ferguson, who had 45 years.
He won his debut too. I can't remember off the top of my head who that was again. Oh, Dan Hooker.
He almost who?
He knocked out Dan Hooker. Remember?
Brother, Michael Chandler and Dan Hooker. Everybody beat these guys.
So not impressed. I like the honesty.
No, I'm honest. Like when we look at the best fight with the best, these guys, they're not elite. If you wanna see who's elite, it's Charles Oliveira, he's elite guy. It's Arman Tsarukyan. It's very.
Usman doubles down, pointing out that even some of Paddy's more recent wins are questionable. He brings up the fight against Jared Gordon, noting that Paddy technically lost in his eyes, even if the judges awarded him the decision. From Usman's perspective, Paddy hasn't faced fighters at the truly elite level yet. Names like Ilia Topuria or Justin represent the kind of competition that really proves championship worthiness. Until then, he doesn't see Paddy as deserving a title shot.
elite guy. And who there is it?
Ilya?
Gaethje, the elite guy. Ilya Tapuria, yes, is elite fighter. You know, like somebody like that. You know, like not Paddy who fight with. He have one fight, and I think he lose this fight with a guy. I don't remember his name, but I see him. I was training with him here in Dubai. Yes, Gordon. He lose this fight. Gordon beat him. Gordon beat him us.
Jared Gordon.
Yeah, Jared Gordon. He beat him us. But the judges give him fight like one.
I agree with that.
Yeah, you can check this fight if you want. No, I'm not like somebody who against Payton. No, I don't know him. You know, like I'm just looking like fan of the martial arts. My opinion, he doesn't deserve title shots. My opinion.
However, Dan Hardy breaks it down as a clash of patience versus unpredictability. He sees Justin Gaethje capable of getting it done if he methodically closes the cage and waits for Paddy to overcommit. Even though Gaethje's power is undeniable, Hardy notes that Paddy has evolved. He's a bit more predictable but still tricky and vulnerable to knees and counters early on. He envisions a scenario where Gaethje starts cautiously, lands a big shot, or forces Paddy off balance, but Paddy's resilience could allow him to work his way back into the fight. Hardy goes on to highlight just how far Paddy Pimblett has come. He sees this fight as a chance for everyone to recognize that Paddy can hang with the very best, thanks to his toughness under pressure. Gone is the young, raw fighter from Cage Warriors, and this is a fully developed pro, sharpened by his team at Next Gen. Hardy believes Paddy's momentum will play a huge role in his performance, but he warns that if Gaethje pins him against the cage and forces him out of rhythm, even this evolved Paddy could be in serious trouble. But Colby Covington isn't convinced this fight is a done deal for Paddy Pimblett. He points out that Justin Gaethje has been through countless wars and still carries the effects of tough knockouts like the one from Max Holloway. While the public hype has Paddy as the favorite, Colby stresses that Gaethje is still a tough, determined fighter who won't back down. A loss here could be career-defining. He notes that Paddy will need to control the wrestling, get opponents to the ground, and mix in his striking to make it work, making this far from a guaranteed outcome. Colby continues by questioning the hype around the fight. He sees Justin as possibly past his peak, with Paddy being positioned as the next big thing. With Gaethje's tank potentially running low and Paddy still proving himself, Colby says it's tough to call, only the fight will show who comes out on top. And then Banala Dariush weighs in on the odds, noting why Justin Gaethje is listed as the underdog while Paddy Pimblett is favored. He points out that Gaethje, at 37, has rarely faced top-tier grapplers outside of the likes of Khabib and Charles Oliveira, which makes people question how he'll handle someone like Paddy. Combined with Paddy's youth and rapid growth in the division, Banala Dariush understands why the betting lines lean in the young fighter's favor. However, Ayman Zahabi leans toward Paddy Pimblett, citing his hunger and drive to prove himself, while noting Gaethje has taken a lot of damage over his career. He thinks Paddy's momentum and desire give him the edge, especially if it turns into a brawl, but adds that if Gaethje fights smart and fully uses his tools, he could still win. So what's your take on this epic showdown? We want to hear your thoughts. Who do you think comes out on top, Paddy or Gaethje? Drop your predictions in the comments and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a moment of the action.